Hello everyone, welcome to Website Education Investment. Today in this video, let's talk about InvArch Network in Polkadot. InvArch Network is a parachain in Polkadot ecosystem, and I learned that from the NFT projects they have called YoudleDAO. So we're going to cover all of them. InvArch Network itself, it focuses on the creator. They have 10k followers now, and the creator, just like NFT, the intellectual property, like if you have the NFT, how do you prove this is your NFT, the ownership of those NFT? And so those kind of things, they demo that in their NFT project YoudleDAO. The InvArch Network, they recently published the dual token economy article, and I think this is very, very interesting, and it's worth everyone reading that article. I will post a link as well. So in this article, they talk about the vision for the creator economy, because the whole idea of the InvArch, they focus on the creators economy. So the InvArch blockchain is a systems parachain. It's a layer 1 blockchain for the Polkadot, and they use the network of multi-party ownership, collaboration, and monetization protocols together with InvArch Tinkernet. So Tinkernet, they already win the Cardano node in Kusama. And the core protocol is called InvArch protocol. If you are interested, you can check their articles as well. So the InvArch parachain and the InvArch Tinkernet, they are both the blockchain, one in Polkadot, one on the Kusama relay chain. And for the Tinkernet, the core features of that is mint InvArch cores, NFT, InvArch token, and stake for funding, and also integrate with the InvArch Gate and also service for the GUI. The InvArch Gate I would like to highlight because this is quite a new thing, and I think it's a big thing as well. A lot of developers, if you are the developers, you probably know the Git. That's the one like to manage the code, the different versions. And the InvArch, they try to decentralize that using the IPFS. And so basically now with help of the blockchain technology, you can have the Git and from their GitHub, you can see that it's almost the same way how you use a Gate, but this is a decentralized version of the Gate. And so I hope in the future like more people will like that, will use that, and myself, I will probably try this the decentralized version of the Git. And in the article, they talk about 2 tokens, 1 system. I think this is also quite creative because right now in Polkadot, the .sama, they have Polkadot and Kusama, and people have a token on Kusama, they do experiment, and then once it's mature, you can have the token on Polkadot. And then what happened with these 2 different tokens? Some parachain like killed, they directly upgrade and move all the token from Kusama to Polkadot. And some other parachain, they keep 2 of them, but to be honest, like it's kind of difficult to figure out how useful is a Kusama token. The Tinkernet, the InvArch network is the first they proposed to have 2 tokens, but they want to make them integrate them as one system. And so the InvArch network itself will be for the data storage, and the token, it's a VARCH token. The VARCH token you can use to be staked to provide storage. You can bound to vote, so governance and storage, and then you will get the rewards in Tinker. So the Tinker would be the token on the Kusama. And so this graph will show you how it works. So from the InvArch, you will earn the Tinkernet token, and Tinkernet token will have their utilities as well. And so the Tinkernet will focus on the InvArch engine module, and also have the on-chain innovation funding protocol, the OCIF. That's also quite new, and we will talk about that in the future, about more details about that. So you can stake using this protocol and get the rewards, and then the one system now, they have 2 tokens, and those 2 tokens both, they will have their utility. Like, you can have different ways to use them, and they are the first parachain to propose idea to integrate those 2 together for one system. And so I think this is quite good actually, and could be the model for the other parachains. And so they also mentioned about the inflationary burn model. This is also quite nice, and I don't know the detail yet, but in the future they're going to release all the details. And so overall, the InvArch token on the Polkadot will be the utility medium. Tinker on the Kusama token would be the financial medium, and then they will work together to provide the service for the whole network. Okay, and now let's talk about some more applications of the InvArch. And the first one, as I mentioned before, would be the one called YoudleDAO. That's an NFT project that's going to use the InvArch technology. And so they already have the ticket, but the NFT itself is not reviewed yet. I'm the early supporter of the YoudleDAO, and I myself hold several YoudleDAO, and if you check the YouTube video, you will find I'm actually one of the first who introduced the YoudleDAO NFT. This NFT will have different kind of utilities, and you can also have different features, as you can see it here, and they have 4 different rarity. Myself, I have the rainbow rare, so I would be quite exciting about the future when I hope it will be soon. Like, I can review my NFT and try the utility of the NFT. They use the InvArch CDK. So the InvArch CDK has been widely used with different projects like the WAG Media, Spacer NFT, KO Star, and I'm quite excited about this the CDK, the Community Development Kit, as well. And there will be more details on the BOM file. That's an event that's going to review the YoudleDAO NFT. Alright, I think that's all what I want to talk about the InvArch, their new dual token, and also the YoudleDAO NFT. Okay, so the second application from InvArch I want to talk about is OCIF. OCIF, I mentioned that before in the article for the 2 tokens. The OCIF, we know that you can use InvArch, and the InvArch can be used for the governance, and also the Tinker, right? The Tinker token. You can use that for the OCIF. So let's talk about the OCIF, like why it is needed. And so we start with the ideas. So every day we will have different idea, and all of us can have the ideas. The ideas is actually quite cheap, because it's almost everyone can have all kinds of crazy idea. What makes the idea different is some ideas, they can be a real thing, a real product that can change the world. But some idea, they just idea in your mind, and didn't make any difference. And so the InvArch, they mentioned the idea, what make it is possible, why some people, they cannot make it possible. It's because of the resource. And so if you have the idea but you don't have the resource to make it work, it will not be possible to work. So that's the thing like they want to solve. And also another important thing is you have the idea, you also need a good marketing and have a good community to support your idea, your project. And that's another thing they try to solve. And finally, about your idea, how to securely share your idea. This is another important thing, an important problem you need to solve as well. And they take the example of the Meta, right? The Meta. So they have the idea, like Tyner and Cameron. They have the idea. They have almost everything. They share that with Zuckerberg, and Zuckerberg just make it with their idea and add his own idea, and finally create the Meta, the Facebook. And so how to protect that? So the IP is very important in intellectual property. It's very important. And so that's how this on-chain innovation funding protocol comes, OCIF. And so this OCIF, they have a few methods to solve the problem we just mentioned. For example, the IP staking, that's for the community support-based fundraising. One of the example would be the DEFI staking in A-Star network. And so, for example, you want to support one project, then you can just stake your token, right, on that DApp. You don't need to stake on others, just stake on the DApp. So the DApp, when you get the rewards, right, that reward, some of that will be used to support the project. So that's an IP staking. You can stake your IP token. The other one would be the RP farming. That's for establishing price discovery, token liquidity, and user basis. And so this one, they also mentioned about that. So the IP staking, IP farming, so you can actually use your IP staking rewards to contribute that to the IP farming as well. And so, for example, as IP owner, like you can define a range of network tokens you would like to raise. And I guess here, for example, you want to raise the DOT, right? You can just define the range and also the percentage of packed IP token you will provide in exchange, and the utility of those IP tokens, and then that the investor to decide, right, if more people they want to support this IP token, and then the tokens you would like to raise, right, you will get more tokens you want to raise, like the DOT if you want to raise. So I think this is another way you can do to support the idea, the IP farming. It will establish more liquidity. Of course, you need some InvArch, like the Varch token to vote, right, what kind of IP token you can use, those kind of things. So the next part would be the IP donation. The IP donation would be just one, like if you want to have some funding and you want to get that through the on-chain donation, then you can use this feature, the IP donation feature. You could imagine just like the Web3 Foundation, they support different projects, and you can use this IP donation feature to support all of those projects on chain. So the cool thing is you can actually decide, for example, you can decide when to get those donations. You can get it right away. You can get it when you finish some milestone, right? So different ways you can decide, and it's fully on chain. And I think that make a big deal because a lot of the donations And the problem is about the trust. Like if the donator, they know what kind of a donation, how they are going to use the donation, they are more like support. They are more supportive to those kind of donations. And so to make it on chain, I think it's a really a cool idea. All right, so we talk about 3 different ideas, and that's all for this OCIF. And so that's also one of the applications of the InvArch, to support the ideas, to make the idea real. If you have any comments or questions, please write it down below the video. And thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.